So, wrestling fans, welcome back to the Hexagon with your host, Alistair Hex, the Altitude Attitude, none other. Happy to be here with all of you. And my special guest for you today is none other than Kolbe Max. How are we doing today?
West Virginia. Hello. Thank you for having me.
Hey, not too bad. How is West Virginia today?
It is under at least 3 inches of ice right now. I'm actually snowed in. As you can see, I got my comfy clothes on, got the Snoopy pants, the gray
Rocking out.
sweatshirt, no makeup. That's how we are today.
Hey, there you go. There you go. Definitely a far cry from the stylish in-ring attire we get to see you in. And then I think you had a remodel recently, too.
Yes, I have definitely changed up my appearance to the best of my ability. I'm definitely investing a lot more into it, which on my bank account is not really happy about it some days, but I look at the pictures, especially of the most recent show I had, and I'm like, yep, that's what I want.
There you
If
go.
that makes sense.
Wrestling is a passion, and it's one that we definitely pay for, whether it be financially or otherwise, I think. But for the fans who are meeting you for the first time, who are you inside and outside of the ring?
So I am 13-time champion Kolbe Max. I hail from the shallow graves of West Virginia.
Hmm.
And for 6 years now, I have been gracing the independent wrestling scene with my presence. I have made appearances on Ladies Night Out and Ohio Valley Wrestling, as well as NWA's Crossfire. So technically, I have made appearances on NWA.
What?
And that's me. Whenever I am not wrestling, I actually run my own business for dog walking and pet sitting. Enthusiast for video games, specifically Nintendo, and I've recently gotten into Mortal Kombat.
Hmm.
Last night, I geeked out over the fact that we are getting new Dragon Ball animation soon.
Oh man, that's awesome! Yeah, that does sound really cool. Have you been playing Mortal Kombat One?
Yes, I have. I actually just finished the story recently. I was
Oh,
actually going to play it this evening some, since, as I said, I am snowed in,
well,
and I'm snowed in for all day tomorrow.
nothing better than a video game day for sure. I think I might have to challenge you to a little bit of Mortal Kombat myself then, because I'm a very tenured player as well, and I've been looking for more wrestlers to do some video games with. So
Who's your main?
I would definitely say I'm a little bit basic when I play Liu Kang, for sure. But I like the complexity of those styles and his kicks and his flows in this game specifically. But man, Ghostface is insane.
OP.
Just stupid OP. Yeah, but I think they had to be because he doesn't have like abilities, except having a whole other person with him. I guess I don't know. It's a good. It was good. Good. I had to finish the story with him as soon as I unlocked him. So, no, it's a great video game. So we'll have to see about getting you on that program. What's the story behind your character?
It has been a complete evolution. When I first started when I was 16, I debuted literally 3 days after my 17th birthday. I was a checkerboard wearing poser emo kid just because I was a kid. I mean, I was just a kid starting out in the business and I looked young. My hair, long before I ever started dyeing my hair, I had curly brown hair, wore cheap eyeliner, all that. And then slowly that kind of continued, but I took a little hiatus for a few months due to some health problems. And when I came back, I wanted to use that as an opportunity to reinvent myself. And hence, Devilance Colby was born.
Hmm.
It wasn't exactly what I wanted it to be or what I envisioned it to be, but it was fun to experiment with kind of the backwoods West Virginia and embracing the culture that is Appalachia. And then I was kind of in a limbo period because I didn't want to do Colby Max anymore, or not Colby Max, goodness, I didn't want to do Devil Ants anymore, but I didn't necessarily want to go back to Killjoy Colby Max, which is who I first started out as. And then one day, just Lacrimøsa Colby Max was born, and I'm still kind of taking the essence of Appalachia with me, but more of a dark tone and a old school gothic, vintage Catholic almost. So I actually take a lot of inspiration from Miss Eva Green, a very underrated actress. Between her performance in Casino Royale, which I think is probably the best Bond film, um, and then also her character Angelique in Dark Shadows. I don't know if you're familiar with the OG soap opera from the late 60s and early 70s, Dark Shadows, but Tim Burton did an adaptation
Oh
about
yeah, I've seen the adaptation movie. I'm not familiar with the original show. I think it was more of an Addams Family black and white kind of guy.
long, but and I've been watching it for I don't know how long, and I joke and say I'm still not going to finish it till I'm 30.
Yeah, fair enough.
um, Eva Green, Bayonetta. I'm into the Bayonetta games.
Okay.
I don't as often as I wish I could, but I even have Bayonetta gear. Angelina Jolie's Maleficent definitely kind of has a hand in the character inspiration. Then lastly, the bold madness that Emma Stone brought to the screen with her Cruella.
Okay. I really liked that iteration too.
I have a Cruella gear,
Oh,
so
do you really do? That's awesome, man. Like a modern Corella or maybe more classic inspiration? Modern.
and my mom helped me with it. I have an old black leather jacket that I got a bunch of pins on, and I sewed things onto it to. Are you familiar with the shot of her with the like the big red skirt and like the jacket of her on the car,
Yeah.
alluding to?
Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool. Sounds like photo shoot worthy gear there for sure.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I invest a lot into my appearance.
Hmm. Well, what would you say your mission in wrestling is right now if you had one?
I'm trying to leave it better than how I found it, which is maybe a cliche reply, but when I first came in, like there was, at least in my area, I can't speak for everywhere, but there were just some things that I look back on and kind of just think, where was that? Or why didn't I have that? And don't get me wrong, I'm beyond grateful for the opportunities I got, for the people I knew, but there were just some things missing that I look back on and just think, how can I fill in those holes?
Hmm. Yeah, no, I mean that makes sense. And as long as you come into it, I think trying to leave one at least 1% better every day, but also trying to leave it better for the next generation, I think that's also important. You know, that's where legacy is really found, right? When you start seeing people that may be inspired by what you did in the ring.
Mhm.
Um, but if you had to say, you know, speaking of legacy and inspirations, like if you had to list your biggest influences in the squared circle, who would you say those are?
The biggest is easily Finn Balor or Prince Devitt.
Wow. Okay. Good choice.
That when he was on the TV when I was like 14, 15, 16, teenage years, just everything stopped. Like in my house, my mom can probably tell you. It's just nothing else in the world mattered. He was on my TV. I'm stopping everything. I'm watching that.
Okay. Fair enough. So would you say that you were also into like maybe the Bullet Club aesthetic too, or just maybe Prince Valor?
Yes, and I think with the Devil Ants Colby, I was kind of trying to go for that, but
Okay.
I don't have the aura that they do because
Mm.
there's things specific about not just the Prince or Finn Balor, and I think just as a whole, the Bull Club just has this aura that nobody can duplicate, including myself. So,
Yeah, I mean that's fair, but I think with Bullet Club you have so many unique individuals that came out of there. Your Kenny Omegas, your AJ Styles, you know, that you have to be able to stand alone in the group as well. And I wouldn't sell yourself short. I've seen a lot of your Instagram posts, and I know you have a style that's very much coming together. I very much like what you're doing most recently with your return. I think it looks great on you. Um, but I guess tell me about like the first time that you came through the curtain. What did that feel like? What were you doing? What was the match?
so I actually debuted in a Royal Rumble. This was, like I said, 3 days after my 17th birthday, so I was still a kid, very much so, and it was during COVID because I would have debuted when I was 16, but because of COVID, I wasn't able to. And it was a taped show, and a part of that show, I was entrant number three of a 20-man battle or a Royal Rumble. I remember because my hair is naturally curly. You wouldn't know because I've dyed it so much and it's
Hmm.
short now. Um, and I straightened my hair for that day, and by the time I was about to go out for as entrant number three, my hair had completely curled back up because I was just sweating and so nervous. And
And this was a mixed tag or mixed rumble?
yes,
Okay, awesome. And you think you did pretty well then?
Oh, I lasted 38 minutes, but it wasn't God's gift to wrestling, so
Fair enough. So a little bit of luck was mixed in, I think. Huh?
hopefully.
Yeah, fair enough. What is something you think your fans get wrong about you?
Um,
If you had to clear the air on anything.
Honestly, I can't think of anything, fortunately. I'm sure there's something out there, but
Okay.
ignorance is bliss, they say.
Yeah,
So
hey, fair enough. And I mean, it sounds like you've had positive influences with everybody that you meet.
I try to. Now, there are some that I don't wish to speak about or I don't wish to come across again. However, that speaking about that is not worth my energy, nor is it doesn't make me a better person. So,
Fair enough. Well, and I guess speaking on things that you might have survived, every wrestler has something big that they survived. What would you say yours is?
um, probably my lupus diagnosis.
Okay.
I thought that I wasn't going to come back to the ring because of it.
Oh.
And with all due respect to the West Virginia healthcare system, it's pretty rough.
Mm. Okay. You didn't find a lot of support for your condition then.
No, not until a good few months in, and even not until recently. I have a very good rheumatologist. She's wonderful, and I think, and that took like 2 years for me to meet her.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, it took basically 2 years for me to feel like I mean, you never recover from lupus, it's an incurable disease, but for me to bounce back,
Hmm. And you feel
and
like you're pretty confident right now with your bouncing back too.
I am, fortunately.
Okay.
And honestly, I still have my days. Because lupus isn't the only thing I struggle with. I have anemia and endometriosis, as well as other various mental conditions, which is a rabbit hole for another time.
Mm-hmm.
But to answer your question in whole, that's been my biggest challenge.
Okay.
And just now, feeling like I'm bouncing back, especially with certain opportunities that are coming my way. And hopefully, what the rest of the year brings, even though we're almost through January already.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's definitely a way to approach it, and I think if you take the challenges just one at a time, it stops it from being overwhelming. I've had a lot of wrestlers that I've talked to on this channel that have gone through many things. My most recent, Lonnie Valdez, he snapped his femur, on a bad moonsault. Yeah, and that was kept him sidelined for a year, but not for a single second did he lose that fire, and it doesn't sound like you did either. It sounds like you wanted to keep pushing towards your goals, and that's super
Yeah.
important. But switching gears, I guess, to victories, what was your first championship win?
It was for the Battleground Wrestling Women's Championship. It was a brand new promotion in West Virginia. They still run.
Mm,
I was the first ever VGW Women's Champion, and I was 17. I was still in high school when I
wow.
went. That's just so weird to me that I was in high school and I was a double champion.
Fair enough. I mean, hey,
Like,
if you have a knack
because
for it.
a week later I won my second title.
Oh,
I basically won back-to-back titles,
okay.
both first evers, and that was a lot for a 17-year-old
Yeah,
looking back at it.
I
And I'm
can see.
grateful beyond belief that I became the first ever, let alone when somebody wants to put their title on me. Because at the end of the day, all wrestlers, big or small, we do have egos, and of course, that it feels great to get a title.
And don't lie, you were taking the titles to school too and showing them off. Come on now.
I'll play the fifth.
Okay, all
Um,
right, fair enough. Fair enough.
so there was actually, we did a career day, and I dressed as myself, and I wore my belt to school.
That's
I'm dead
really cool.
serious. I wore the BGW Women's Championship to school.
Now, did people think you were just playing somebody else, or were they surprised when they found out?
No, I mean, every people knew that I was a professional wrestler.
Oh, okay.
Um, it was a kind of a curse, but again, that's falls under the rabbit hole for another time
Fair enough.
conversation.
Well, we'll keep it focused here then. What was the most recent championship that you won?
The Mega Pro Wrestling Women's Championship, another first ever.
Okay.
Mega is easily my home promotion. It's the first place I ever trained at. The first indie wrestling show I ever went to was Mega Pro Wrestling because until I was like 15 or 16, I didn't even know indie wrestling existed,
Hmm.
which
Fair
is
enough.
kind of, I mean, that's kind of ignorant of me, I guess. But I just thought, you had your major promotions, you had your major schools, and you just got sent there.
Yeah.
Or something.
Well, I know that when I was growing up, there was very limited access to wrestling information. You had to get
Mhm.
it through, Pro Wrestling Observer, or have to order different magazines. I remember having friends that had subscriptions to Japanese magazines. And they paid extra to get them shipped like to the States, so that way they could read more about what was going on overseas. And that was really the only way, because promotions that were here, places like your WWE's and things like that, they had a lockdown on the promotional material, which understandably, it's across an ocean. But yeah, definitely important to spread as much wrestling information as possible. And I'm learning even new promotions right here with you, which is, it's so crazy that not only do I get to learn about them, but also meet their first champion. That's like really unique. And I think that's something that any of your fans would be like overjoyed to hear about, because clearly you have the charisma and the talent, and you've been out there doing it even a short amount of time. It's what 6 years feels like in comparison. I've talked to a lot of people that have been doing this 13, 14, 15 years, right?
Mhm.
But at this point, you're about halfway where they might have been. And I can only imagine it gets so much more perspective too, for myself, but also for you, because you probably got a lot of people that are teaching you the ropes, so to speak.
Definitely. I mean, you never stop learning, and I've heard multiple people say, if you feel like you've learned everything, it's time to retire.
Fair enough. That's a good saying. I haven't heard that one before. Um, but let's kind of bring it down to our last couple questions here. If you were to leave your mark on wrestling, if Kolbe Max left her mark, what would that mark look like?
Gosh, no.
It's a tough question.
I think just circling back to what I said earlier, just leaving it better than how I found it, whether that be for the next generation, whether that be for the current generation, or just whoever.
So you'd rather people remember Colby Max, the inspiration?
Yes,
Okay.
I really hope that, because even though I know damn well I'm not God's gift to wrestling, I'm not a vet by any means, but out of 6 years, I hope at least one or two people have taken something from working with me.
I mean, 6 years, that could look like you inspiring somebody 6 years ago in your very first match to go be a wrestler. And who knows what they're doing now, right?
Very
So
true.
I know that when I was a kid, I always wanted to imitate Pillowmania, between the scenes, or, between the commercials, and hitting my siblings with pillowcases and whatever. But like, it's one of those things where, we get the bug, and we never stop losing that passion for wrestling, I think.
No, I agree.
Yeah. But final question for you. Just walk me through an event day. What does that look like for you, beginning to end, and how do you wind down at the end?
It varies based on how far I have to travel. So I travel pretty much anymore because I like to stay nomadic. Say I have a 4 hour drive, I get up, I eat something big. Usually my mom kind of spoils me a little bit and she'll cook me a big breakfast because I still live at home. Or if I'm not at home, I'll make an effort to either make something or I'll get something high in protein with eggs, with maybe a little bit of sugar and sodium, even though like I've majorly cut back on it, but it's still important to have that to get your blood pumping throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
Caffeine. I try not to be dependent on caffeine, but some days you just need it. And I feel like show days, I need a whole thing, or I need a whole can.
I've got my
um,
liquid death in hand. I feel you right there.
I've been also, I recommend Ice sponsor me. The drinks, the Ice sparkling water.
Yeah.
They have caffeinated cans now. No sugar, no sodium. Those are my best friends.
Mm.
Um, and then we drive. Depending on when I get there, either I don't recommend this, but I either start my makeup in the car
Mm.
while I'm driving.
Oh,
Like I
speed
said,
bumps.
I don't recommend that, but desperate times call for desperate measures.
Mm.
Or I get to the show, I make my rounds, as we say. I like to the promoter, ask, what are you looking for today? What do you need? WXYZ. Uh, and then you wait around, maybe do your makeup, get ready, get changed, figure out what you're doing for your match. And then fans come, depending on where I am on the card. I will either go out and try to sell some things, or I'll stay back and then go out intermission whenever and have my match. Panic a lot about it, but the second you walk out of the curtain, it's just like you step into another universe. I'm sure you've heard 100 people say it, and it's probably a cliche at this point, but it really is. You become your character. You become the person you always envision of being whenever you first step out of that curtain, whether you're a face or a heel or just there but somewhere in between. And then you have your match. You go backstage, reflect upon it with you and your opponent, ask the promoter and ask others how you think it went. And then depending on what the circumstances are, you either begin to head out or stay or do whatever you need. And then you make that long trek home. Sometimes I stay overnight if I have a friend, or if weather is bad, or if it's just late. And I just know I can't make it all the way home without nodding off.
Well, other than the Kolbe Max sponsored ice beverage, what is the best after show meal?
This is the one time a week I cheat. I go to McDonald's. Like, I cheat.
Gosh, McDouble will get me every time. Every time.
It's the 20-piece nugget that gets me.
Oh,
or mainly because it's the only thing that'll be open a lot of times. Or on the rare occurrences, I get out of there before 10 o'clock and there's a Chick-fil-A nearby.
Very necessary. Very necessary.
Or, and then at some circumstances, Sheets. Sometimes I'm just craving a Sheets burger.
Oh, okay. I've not had one of those before. It must be outlet over your way.
Yeah, Sheets is a more of an East Coast thing.
I gotcha. Well, if you ever make it out further west than Colorado, which is where I'm planning on going this April, I highly recommend a Tommy Burger. That is amazing stuff right there. It's like a chili cheeseburger. Yeah, so good. But excellent. I mean, Kolbe, I really appreciate you taking the time and explaining everything. Yeah.
Thank you. You brought joy to my snow date in.
Is there any advice, last minute advice, that you'd like to give your fans or anybody watching that loves wrestling?
Know your worth and then add tax.
I like it.
I mean, and do with that as you will. Interpret it as you will.
Yeah. No, I think it's a great message and a very positive one. But thank you again, Kolbe. We really do appreciate it, and I'm sure your fans do as well.
And you're not egotistical for knowing your worth. It's how you carry it. That's what makes you very egotistical.
Yeah. Don't be egotistical. Just know your worth. Add a little tax. I like that. Well, thank you again. I really appreciate you being here and being a part of my journey.
Hi there. This is Lacrimøsa, Kolbe Max, and you are listening to my story inside the Hexagon.